And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today we are reviewing Far Cry 6, released in 2021 on multiple platforms, mainly PlayStation. The newest of the Far Cry games, and my second ever Far Cry game behind Far Cry Primal. There's not a review of Far Cry Primal up on the channel, but I did do a playthrough of it a long time ago, if you want to go check that out. But I picked this game up quite a while ago, actually. And it took me a long time to actually get around to play it on the backlog. Ended up streaming a little bit of my gameplay on this game too. But I was actually quite disappointed with my game experience overall. Maybe because I bought it only because it had Gus Fring in it. And that's really the only reason I bought it, for $14 at a local game store. But what do you know? What else? But anyway, what are my thoughts on it? Let's jump right into it, shall we? First off, the graphics are really good, and you gotta think of that's gonna be a thing for Far Cry games, though. Really good graphics. And a thing for most modern PlayStation type games, anyways. Just really good graphics, I thought. But it wasn't perfect. There were some mouth movements that I don't think were very well synced and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was good. But overall, this definitely does feel like a Far Cry game. Having only played Primal, it definitely had the same kind of like stuff in the game, kind of like their same formula that they follow. Like, oh, the main character, it's like got a mission, his own personal little mission. Ends up facing like a huge catastrophe at the beginning and being like the lone survivor out of the group, and then he's on a new island and he's got to do all this sort of stuff on the island, and you recruit your army and you get stronger, and there's character development into, oh, I actually got to help these people out and do all this stuff, and so there's that. That's kind of what you do in Far Cry Primal. It's pretty much the same thing, except you can't just tame random shit, and like ride mammoths, which is bad. You always gotta ride mammoths. Come on. So what about the combat? It's okay. It's okay. It does get repetitive pretty quickly though. Just going around and hitting up the same kind of leveled forts, taking out the same kind of people, and you can't go very far without getting into fights in this game, which is a little annoying because you can't really appreciate the area as much as I would hope or want to do. But it's okay. It's not anything massive, but they do give up. And some of the controls they're not great for high pressure situations. Like it's very finicky how to like lock on, and some of the parachutes are very, very, very stupid. It just never works. The parachute just never works correctly when you need it to work. There's just a lot of things that they really don't teach you very well, or don't hint at very well, that you don't know exists, that can actually help you pretty well in combat situations, and you don't really get a chance to learn it. Which kind of sucks in my opinion. And the dialogue is pretty fun too. The nice back and forth humoristic stuff in the game. It can be a little wild at times, but it's pretty funny to listen to, at least. The horses in this game, my god, they are OP. Like, I rode a horse, and you can just like run through anything and everything that you want, or on the contrary, when a horse runs you over when you're running through a field and then just doesn't affect it at all. Good lord, horses. What are you taking down there? Steroids? Roids? Droids? I don't know. It was crazy. There are a lot of characters in this game, and that get a good amount of screen time in the game, which I guess can show how long the game is. But there's a lot of characters that get like their formal introductions. Too many, in my opinion. because none of them really get the chance to shine with their not some of them do, but not a lot of them get their opportunity to shine, which that's annoying, I think, because it's not annoying. It's just a little disappointing because I think there's some characters in the game that could definitely thrive a little bit better had they not had there been so many trying to fight for the same real estate when it comes to screen time and importance in the game. It also just becomes really hard to remember all of them, keep track of them. Like sometimes there's a character that comes back after being gone for a while in the game, or that's like referenced, and you're like, oh, who's that? What's going on? It's just, yeah, that's just something I thought. Also, what the fuck? There's rooster fighting in this game, and we get like a whole level with that. Like what? Why? It's so out there from the rest of the game. It doesn't make any freaking sense why it's there. It's just so bizarre and just so out of left field that I can't even comprehend how crazy it is that it's even in this game. And speaking of fights, some of them are just not well thought out. And really not a lot of stuff was very well thought out with this game. Now I haven't played any other mainline Far Cry games. I don't know if Far Cry Primal really counts as a mainline Far Cry game. But a lot of people are comparing this to like Far Cry 2, I think it was, or Far Cry 3. It's just like kind of like a rehash of that. And I can see that. It's kind of a testament to most PlayStation games nowadays that are just like rehashes or new entries to a series that already exists. New entries that follow the same formula of just long dialogue scenes, long combat scenes that all feel very repetitive, but you mask it underneath some really good graphics and you throw it out there for $70, and because now games cost $70 apparently, except for Nintendo. And then it's a bestseller, and everybody seems to love it because it's a shooter, and shooters are the only game that most gamers like nowadays, apparently. I don't know. It was a disappointment for me. It just didn't. I had a certain, being a Far Cry game, I had certain level of expectations for it, and it just really didn't live up to it. And that kind of sucks because it definitely had a lot of potential, and there's just not a lot to say that really says, oh yeah, this was great potential. It's not, which again kind of sucks. So that's my review of Far Cry 6. My final score for it, probably gonna have to give it a good 6 out of 10. It's not the worst game I've ever played, but it's far from the best. So that's gonna do it with this game review, though. If you've ever played Far Cry 6, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's gonna do it for this video, so stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. Until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.